Well, Aberfan disaster happened because of the violations of the rules which were established by the NCB, National Coal Board, right? Uh, the spoil tip, right, can be of a pyramid type or the tower type. Okay, so it was the tower type. It was much higher than the regulation supposed. And in contravention of NCB's procedures, this spoil tip of a tower form, so to say, was based on ground, which was the violation of the rules. The tower, this spoil tip must be based on some structure, not ground. Okay. Moreover, the ground was weakened by the ground springs that emerged, and the season was rainy. 3 weeks of raining weakened that spoil tip. It was saturated, and it slipped down on the village, and the children came to school. They were waiting for the first lesson. They were ready for the first lesson, right? And they were standing at their desk. The teacher said, "Well, stand straight," something like this. The beginning of the lesson in the typical Welsh school, and suddenly he heard the noise, and he said he understood that the mess was coming down because everybody knew about the spoil tip being dangerous. Everybody knew that it was 111 feet high, which was much higher than the NCB's rules supposed, right? Okay, and those 140,000 cubic yards of spoil slipped onto the school, slipped down the hill, right? Everybody was killed who was in the school and in the near houses. 144 people were killed, all in all. Among them, 116 children who came to school, who were going to have their first lesson at school. Okay, so the Queen of England, Elizabeth II, didn't go to Aberfan. She sent her husband, Prince Philip. He came and he saw the level of that grief, the level of that tragedy. And he came back to London and said, "Well, okay, darling, you have to go there. You have to see that. You have to be there." She didn't go there until 8 days after the incident, right? Okay, and when she came, she saw that that was a mistake not to go immediately. She saw how deep the grief and the sorrow people were. She saw the real grief in people's eyes. She understood that that was a mistake not to go immediately, right? So until today, she considers this one of the greatest mistakes in her monarch's career, so to say, in her monarch's record. The disaster was awful. Well, what is that? We know the situations where millions of victims took place in wars and some incidents, and so on. Yes, of course. But the level of unexpectedness and the level of stupidity of that. The people of Wales, people of Aberfan, many times applied for help. What concerns that spoil tip, they said they were applying for help. they were saying that to the authorities, that the spoil tip was bad, that it was dangerous, that it could ruin the village. Nobody could even imagine how awful, how horrible the tragedy would be.